So there's two basic categories. You have the introverts and then you have the extroverts. Between them, there's a big disagreement. The extroverts are the ones that like to talk fast. Introverts are the ones that like to talk a little more methodical. There's a movie that brings it out very well, and that's Fargo. Throughout the movie, you see different conversations and different relationships being interacting with each other that really brings out the whole element of how extroverts and introverts communicate well together, but also where they conflict with one another over the style of communication. It's a very dark comedy about a kidnapping crime that goes wrong, and so the husband hires two bad guys who turn out to be buffoons, and then the father gets involved and the father's business partner gets involved because they're the ones who are providing the money. A lot of the comedy in this movie comes from the miscommunication, and the writers use the whole extrovert-introvert dynamic to highlight that. So the most prominent one is the extrovert and introvert thieves.
You ever been to Minneapolis?
Nope.
Steve Buscemi just pointing it out to him how he just doesn't talk.
Would it kill you to say something?
But of course the introvert saying, I am talking.
I did.
Earlier in the movie, they had had a similar conversation, trying to decide,
Where's Pancake's house?
What are you, nuts? We had pancakes for breakfast. Oh, come on, man.
even at the end of the story, he points it out that what really bothered me about you the whole time is that you're not talking.
I've been listening to you all week. Yeah, you mute.
Most of us just don't want to admit that really what we don't like about the other personality style is we don't like the way that they make decisions.
That's a fountain of conversation, man. That's a geyser.
Interestingly enough, in other scenes, you do see how the extroverts, when they're together, they tend to respect each other because they talk at the same pace. So you see that a lot whenever it's the William H. Macy character with his father-in-law.
What kind of finder's fee are you looking for?
No, but Wade, see, I was bringing you this deal for you to loan me the money to put in.
Jerry, we thought you were bringing us an investment.
You're saying we put in all the money and you collect when it pays off.
I'd pay you back the principal and interest.
We're not a bank, Jerry.
There's a lot of interaction because extroverts use words to get to the point. A different example showing the introvert conversation is between Marge and her husband when they're just sitting there at the breakfast table, not saying a whole lot.
Time to shove off.
Love you, Margie.
Love you, hon.
And they're communicating very well.
Hon,
Yeah?
Prowler needs a jump.
Introverts are very comfortable with other introverts. Extroverts are very comfortable with extroverts. And so the conflict is when you jump in and you don't respect that. Now that happened when it's the father-in-law in the room with the couple and they're discussing just having dinner. And then the extrovert father-in-law starts critiquing.
Just ate. You didn't finish. Going to McDonald's instead of finishing here.
He sees his friend, sir. It's okay.
It's okay, McDonald's. What do you think they do there? They don't drink milkshakes, I assure you.
It's okay, Dad.
And that whole conversation was calm until he jumps in and starts dictating and taking over. Extroverts like to talk in 1 second or even faster than that, half a second intervals. Introverts likes to do so in more of 8, 9, 10 seconds. Let me show you what that sounds like. Ready? What do you think about this workshop? See, that's only 6 seconds right there. And for the extrovert, man, that is way too much time. But in all fairness, introverts, they like to process better by staying silent. Let me think through it.
You have no call to get snippy with me. I'm just doing my job here.
Well, the extroverts don't have patience for that. And extroverts, this is how you're viewed whenever a question gets asked.
Like I told you, we haven't had any vehicles go missing.
The crime I'm investigating. The perpetrators are driving a car.
I would know. I'm the executive sales manager.
Yeah, but I understand.
I'm not arguing here. I'm cooperating. And we're doing all we can.
They see it as you just go all over the place. For us to ask the introverts to keep up with that and catch up whenever we do that 10 times in a conversation, that just breaks down. Understand that when you're with people who have or may have a different or the opposite communication style, you have to adjust yours. Now, to highlight, there is nothing inherently wrong with being an extrovert, and there is nothing inherently wrong with being an introvert. What's inherently wrong is when an extrovert does not want to recognize the fact that there's an introvert in the room, and the extroverts know that the introverts like to talk a little slower. That's disrespect. And it is inherently wrong when the introverts know that there's extroverts in the room who like to talk faster, but I'm going to hold my opinion. To be inherently correct, we just need to adjust to one another. Now, what's interesting to point out is the William H. Macy character. He is very good at knowing how to talk fast with the extroverts and how to talk slowly with the introverts. So when he's talking with his father-in-law and when he's talking with his father-in-law's business partner, man, they make fast decisions. The husband interacting with his wife, he knows how to slow that down too.
Is he staying for supper then?
Yeah, I think so. Dad?
What?
Are you staying for supper?
Yeah.
That's what we need to be good at. There's a balance in between, and that's what we call here at Teamwork World the 6-second rule, okay? Is that the only way to create camaraderie and collaboration and respect each other is to agree that when we come into conversations, the extroverts need to understand that when they ask questions and they're expecting others to interact, that they have to give the whole room 4, 5, 6 seconds of silence. But the introverts have to agree that they're going to jump into the conversation within those 4, 5, 6 seconds of silence. That's why we call it the 6-second rule. Introverts, speak up. You owe it to the team to speak up. Extroverts, you owe it to the team to listen. Slow it down. Give other people their chance to tell you what they really think. So having said all that, I just need to stop talking so much. And man, I'm a big extrovert. See you at the movies.